Both Governor Greg Abbott and Democratic challenger Beto O'Rourke will face off in a live debate this Friday. Now, a new poll by Emerson College and The Hill shows Governor Abbott with a lead of 8 percentage points over O'Rourke. I sat down with News Nation's political editor Chris Steyerwalt to get some insight ahead of the debate. We looked at the most recent polling, and it shows that Beto O'Rourke currently behind Governor Greg Abbott by about 8 percentage points. At the Texas Tribune Festival this past weekend, Beto O'Rourke said that he's taking all of these numbers with a grain of salt. Looking forward, what does he need to do in this debate and over really the next 6 weeks to try to narrow that gap?
Well, look, the thing that Democrats are betting on in Texas and around the country is that there is a surge in voter participation for low propensity voters who are motivated to come out on the question of the Dobbs v. Jackson decision. And in Texas, this is, of course, particularly potent. Now, O'Rourke is behind and has consistently been behind in the race. But the question is, are there these unidentified or hard to find voters who normally in a survey we're not really looking for, because we're looking for likely voters and that these are unlikely voters? So that is definitely part of it. But the other part of it is that he needs to persuade persuadables, right? This election, Texas has a bunch of swing voters, and the most important voters in every election are those who are very likely to vote, but not that partisan. Which makes them sort of the unicorn voters. They are high propensity voters. They feel obliged to go vote, but they don't have an intense attachment to either party. Those are the voters that O'Rourke needs to combine with a surge in the pro-choice in Texas. He needs to bring the two of those groups together.
We know the issues dominating headlines, migrant busing, abortion rights, all of that. And so why is this part of just a larger conversation? Why is this televised debate so important really across the nation? If you look at it through a nationwide lens, why is there such a high interest?
When you're down in the place where these issues on the ground are shaping voters' perceptions, I want to see it. And I think the country needs to see it, because the discussion that's being had in Texas about border security, about mass migration, about immigration, that discussion is one that has consequences for the next decade or two. And for the rest of the country, we are very much looking to Texas. For Abbott, the name of the game is keep it the same. It's Texas, it's Friday. He's going to be in a prevent defense, right? His goal is for nothing to change out of this election, that the race, or out of this debate, that everything stays just the same going out as it did going in. What O'Rourke needs is something to happen that changes the trajectory of the race. Abbott limited this to only one contest. For O'Rourke, that means that it could be a great moment for him and could really make this into a closely competitive race. But he could also blow it. His debate performance against Ted Cruz is sort of infamous for costing him a chance to knock off a vulnerable Republican before, and he's carrying that with him as he goes in. O'Rourke is a very emotion first, leads with his heart kind of candidate, and that strong emotional connection can help him with voters. But when you're running for governor, people also want to see that you're steady and that you will be able to effectively execute the duties of the executive office. And that's key. So he's got to find that sweet spot where he brings his passion and pushes Abbott out of his comfort zone and gets Abbott onto topics and talking about things in a way that can create a moment that will live on after the debate. But he needs to do it in a way that doesn't come off as overmodulated or excessively emotional.
And you can watch Nexstar's coverage of the Texas governor's debate Friday starting at 7 on KXAN. We'll simulcast the debate in Spanish on the CW Austin.